Chris is someone you know really well.
He's a good mate, yeah.
You are also a believer in celebrating differences. You've talked about that in your stand-up, and it also came up in your kids' book that you wrote. So this subject is one that strikes a chord for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I've had it to a slightly lesser degree, having like a lazy eye and stuff. You know, it's not to the same degree, but it does affect. I feel like, you know, watching that, it's the way that people interact with you is slightly clouded by what they're seeing. Do you know what I mean? And you want them to see beyond that. And some people don't, and I don't think you can necessarily blame people, but at the same, you know, if it's not, you know, sometimes it's accidental. But I really do feel strongly that making people feel like that is a difference that you can celebrate rather than be sort of feel horrible about. I think is a really important thing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, let's talk about your stand-up tour, shall we? Now, comedians, they obviously like to use like personal material, don't they, kind of in their stand-up? But this is something that's got you into a little bit of hot water at home, I hear. Yeah,
it's an issue. Well, I mean, the issue is twofold. One is that I'm really honest on stage, and two, Lisa, my wife, doesn't watch anything I do, so she finds out about it later on. So I had this thing where I was talking about doing the school run, and I was talking about talking to parents telling me about their children, and I just said off the cuff, you know, I don't care about your children. You know, like I'm biologically hardwired to care about mine, and yours are I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm sure they're wonderful, but I personally don't have an interest. and then we were at this kid's birthday party, and these parents came up and they said, "We would tell you what ours have been up to, but you don't care, do you?" And Lisa hadn't seen me do that, so she just looked at me. She goes, "One of your other jokes, another one of your clever things that you said on TV, was it? Well done, Ron."
And did you know what it was that you? Because you know.
I knew straight away. As soon as they approached, I saw. Okay. I saw. I got the other. I mean, another time I got into trouble was I was doing a show Taskmaster, and you have to choose things. Like we had to select prizes that we'd lose if we didn't win the show, and they said, "Bring in your worst present you've ever received," and I just forget it's being televised. So I brought in. This snow globe that my sister-in-law got me, which is like, she'd sort of done this Christmas snow globe and she'd sort of photoshopped Santa hats onto me and the kids and gave it to me, and I brought it into the show and I said, "This is like trash." Anyway, I didn't know Taskmaster was going to be that big. I had no idea. I was on the first series. I mean, like, the next time they came round, they went, "You said you like that globe?" I was like, "Oh, mate." They gave me another globe the following Christmas to pretend they were joking, but I could tell it hurt.
Yeah, annual globes from now on. So the new tour is called Hustle. I mean, Romesh, you are the hardest working man in comedy, I think. So is that the inspiration for the title?
Well, it's kind of, I'll be honest with you, it's sort of a bit of a contradiction. I mean, the hustle thing is a bit of my kind of, the show's sort of me looking at the fact that we're all being pushed into this grind culture.